Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Hello there, a very good morning and welcome to this edition of Newsline. I'm Sonali Vanigopadage, and today actually happens to be the International Day of Peace observed by the rest of the world. It is marked on the 21st of September. Of course, the day's theme for 2016 is the Sustainable Development Goals, Building Blocks for Peace. To discuss on this and more, we have with us in our studios a very special guest today, Dr. Pratibha Mahanamaheva. He is a senior lecturer at the University of Colombo, also attorney at law and a former commissioner, a human rights commissioner at the Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka. Good morning to you, Dr. Mahanamaheva.
Very good morning.
And thank you for joining us on a special day today for peace.
Yeah.
Dr. Mahanamaheva, in 2009, the LTTE was militarily defeated by the Sri Lankan government. And from 2009 to the present moment, do you believe that we have achieved peace in the true sense of the word?
We are attempting for that. Now, for example, how many resolutions were passing United Nations Human Rights Council and UN General Assembly also continuing today. Now what we can see, whether a genuine effort was made, that is my main issue. For example, we have trying our best. Time to time we are setting up several ministries, several secretariats. Now for example, we have national coexistence, dialogue and national language, Ministry for National Language. So they are doing certain work in Sri Lanka to build peace. But your question from 2009 May 17th up to date, if you see a critical review or analysis, time to time we have achieved. But my main thing, which sustainable development, United Nations theme today, sustainable development and building peace blocks. Are we really achieving that? Whether this has gone to grassroots level? Actually, if you see 1978 Constitution, 13th Amendment, which is very clear, like 5 fingers in my hand. National language, Sinhala and Tamil. State language, Sinhala and Tamil. Administrative language, Sinhala and Tamil. Court language, Sinhala and Tamil. And finally, we can see how these legal provisions in grassroots level. That is the biggest problem. So mother tongue, the fifth one is Sinhala and Tamil. The main thing to build peace or reconciliation or any other consistent program, we need nation's trust and confidence. Certain misunderstandings there. So that's why even the government make the best effort, which is actually communicating to the society. For that, people must trust and believe. Several things are there. Religion is main one. So my argument, proactive, productive reconciliation, we need people participation. That is good governance. When you talk about good governance, peace are going together. For that, what we have to do, make the best effort through national language. English only a link language. So 18th, if you see 13th Amendment, Article 18.1, 18.2. Both are Sinhala and Tamil, national language and state language. But are we making certain efforts, or are we having projects or programs with these two nations even learning or even speaking this language? I think this should not be from West. This should not be from West. Passing United Nations Human Rights Council resolution, never do this. So what we have to do basically through our nation, start speaking this language. That's why the ministry trying their best and a lot of other secretariats are there. So my main argument is this: still we have not achieved 100%. To achieve 100%, what we can do, we can have certain good programs. That's why development is there in one side, but the peaceful mind. Our people are happy. For peaceful mind, what will happen? Not only economy, the peace side also there. For that, the trust and confidence must be built among the nations in Sri Lanka. Now, those who are talking about peace in other countries, I mean, peace is the best commodity, economic commodity today in the world. So most of the funds, not for human rights today, they all allocate for peace. Now see, United Nations, most of the parts are downsizing. In Sri Lanka also, most of the branches are closing down because they are actually having certain problems with the funds also. But on the other side, if you see, many people are actually putting their best efforts. You know, Sri Lanka, even in the war period, Mr. Erik Solheim was called. He was a peace negotiator. But those peace negotiators, are they actually impartial? If they go on bias, this never happen. So that's why most of the time, if you put something from West, it can be so much bias. So we must have our own programs, building our own programs. For that we need commitment, dedication, political will. Honestly we need that. Not for the vote, that for Sri Lanka future development, we really need politician will as well as participation from parliamentarians. But 100% participation is there still. In parliament, how many MPs can speak both languages? Only very few. Yeah. So if you can speak that, if you can start from municipality council and go to provincial council, then actually there is something. I have some problems. How can I communicate you? You are not listening. This happened in the war period. I have seen in most of the time police stations, Tamil people, they go to complain to Sri Lanka police. No one is there to take down their complaint, and they go to Ilam police. So that was there. But today it is not there. Today actually this has been eradicated. But what we have to do, we must really understand the other people problems as well as Sinhala community as well as Tamil community, not the political leadership. Civil society also, I don't have much trust now. The issue, people must come forward. People must come forward and talk their real programs.
Dr. Mahana Meheva, the government has taken certain measures to ensure that there is sustainable peace in Sri Lanka. For example, state officials are now expected to learn Sinhala and Tamil medium, and that impacts their chances at promotions in the future. So these are proactive steps being taken. In addition, the Office for National Unity and Reconciliation has been established. The Office on Missing Persons Act was also brought into play. But do you think that these measures alone are sufficient to ensure that real peace is achieved?
Excellent question. 2007, number 7 circular, which specifically say all government officials, those who join or admitted to state service, within 5 years, they must get the language, the other language proficiency. For that they have exams. You have to pass the exam. When you pass the exam, they will give you allowance at once with the grade and annual increment. But are these officials really doing it only to pass the exam? My question is that they just do only to pass the exam, thereafter they are not using or negotiating. My argument is not that. Before admittance, so before enter to the public service, you must thorough language proficiency. So therefore you have to start from the school level. This is only a link language. The school where I studied, we had 3 medium. The university where I teach, we have 3 medium. But all the schools, they don't have it. So therefore, please remember, once you join and get in the language proficiency, honestly, for monetary or to pass or to get the promotions on, not like that. So the country, now we must establish a system from grade 1, Sinhala and Tamil. And also this must be a O-level subject. Those are not happening. So you are talking there is a circular. Yes, I agree. Ministry of Public Administration, they have done their best effort to do that even. But they go, but they pass the in writing exam, written exam they pass. But the other verbal or oral exam, most of the time they are dragging. So that is one. And the other thing, you know, all these programs are there. Now several ministries are there. So are these ministries, they are going only one agenda or different agenda? And also a lot of NGOs are there. Peace building international organizations are now in Sri Lanka. Many officials visit time to time. US Embassy, all the officials are visiting Sri Lanka. But the issue still we are living in the same time. So this must be come from my heart, not from by law. I never believe through pressure. Certain extent you can go, but other than that, now see how many reconciliation programs are happening in Sri Lanka. Minister of this national languages, I am also participating for certain things for university students. So those things are very important. Building up peace, you have to start from school level, university level. Then once they reach some point, then they are understanding it. So I mean the efforts are good, but this must be according to a certain level where people ideas also gather. That's why UN's United Nations today theme, UN specifically say people ideas are mostly in it. That's why I really respect Kofi Annan, the former General Secretary of United Nations, what he said in time. Every time, building peace, you can't alone do it. Government can give the leadership, but not the government. Really, this leadership should be given by people and also the grassroots level societies like Maranadara Sangam, and all they can do a lot of things in the society.
Dr. Mahanamaheva, since the new government came into power, we have seen a lot of proactive measures being taken to ensure this process of transitional justice and reconciliation. However, do you think we are also facing the risk of having too many varied programs with varied agendas and nobody really knows where we're going?
That is the ground reality, I must tell you. At least we must have a database. All these ministries who are working together. Now see for child protection, child rights, how many ministries, how many organizations are there? So they have different ways they achieve it. No, not like that. First thing, I really respect your idea. There must be at least a database, or even there must be a committee from each ministry, each department, each secretary, where they work and have a national action plan, which is coming up now. Now, this piece, not today. This was in 1948, December 10th. When United Nations Human Rights Organization, when they introduced Universal Declaration of Human Rights, what is the sentence? No war in future and peace. So 1948 up to 2016, September 21st, has UN achieved it? Everywhere you see, turmoils are there and issues are coming up. So internationally also we fail. When we are talking locally, we can't achieve alone. Today with the globalization, it all linked each other. So not only in Sri Lanka, there must be certain agencies. That's why United Nations Human Rights Council always having 3 sessions or 4 sessions per year to build it, to achieve it. So as you ask, the main thing is there is an issue. So several ministries, several NGOs, several departments, all one vision and mission. What? To build peace. But actions are different. If you go on different actions. Now I have seen same officers trained by several ministers, so they are having a problem. I am telling the real truth. I met several sir, this is the 7th time we are participating for this reconciliation program, so we can understand different speakers are coming and giving all the ideas. So better at least if they can give a booklet. So the joint effort we have to appreciate as very or different level. When we are trying to achieve the same thing, people are really, sorry for saying this, sometimes may be frustrated and mentally feeling. So we must have one, all work together with a great leadership.
We are in conversation with Dr. Pratibha Mahanamaheva, attorney at law and senior lecturer at the University of Colombo. We're going for a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Newsline. We're in conversation with Dr. Pratibha Mahanamaheva. Dr. Mahanamaheva, before the break we were talking about how Sri Lanka can achieve lasting peace and reconciliation as well as transitional justice. Now, something that we see in Sri Lanka is that this approach of ensuring reconciliation is always a top-down approach. But this also essentially means that the grassroots level masses are excluded from the process, or that they don't have any direct involvement. How do you view this?
Excellent question. This has to be down to top. The best example, South Africa, great Nelson Mandela. I am not telling the same block should be taken to Sri Lanka. We missed several opportunities. I have written a lot of articles with this. How to build up rather than punishment, rather than deterrent. This is where confession, That's why we saw in South Africa, TRC, Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Some of the members in 2014 visited Sri Lanka, and then we had a lot of programs how to build this TRC. So TRC is one effort where all come and they discuss these things. So grassroots down level, how South Africa worked, not in Johannesburg, they went to other areas and got the people participation. People are living very peaceful in Sri Lanka, no issue. Now who should actually give the leadership? If the leaders are not in one opinion, or if they want to come to power using certain things, that's why they pick these programs. If you go to Kilinochchi, Mullaitivu, or even Hambantota areas, they are living very peacefully. I'll tell one thing. This year 1910 in Sri Lanka, government agent was Leonard Woolf. He was the government agent Hambantota. I read his diary very recently, original diary. There was a program in Hambantota and gift donation and in a funeral place. The notice was read Sinhala, Tamil, English. That is the real reconciliation. But everything changed later. If that effort was there, Leonard Woolf, what he tried to introduce 1910, actually a good thing, as well as today these problems may not arise. I am not telling because of the language all these problems arise in Sri Lanka. No, it is not like that. This is only one example I am telling. And the other thing you see in international level, most of the time government must keep insurance with the grassroots level. This is not done because of the United Nations or any other organization pushing, or any embassy pushing Sri Lanka to that way, the pathway. That's why sometimes Sinhala community having problems. And also in the other side, Tamil community also see that we are actually discriminated. These issues are there, not addressing. So my main argument, all these ministries should go to grassroots level. Not only training government officials. If you go some other areas and as I normally visit, we have no issue. We like to live peacefully. We need to do some employment. And then we are having. But some politicians, once they go and actually, I think a law also passed very recently in Sri Lanka also, we have that certain ideas which are violation, not people. So the leadership must give one thing and also get the grassroots level participation and see these are not done for money. Now most of the time NGOs are, they come and they work, but action programs are not happening. Once the fund ends, they are not visiting those areas. No, you have to build something with temple into Kovil and also church. That's why I like the Honorable Oswald Gomes. He said certain thing, Buddhism should be there in Sri Lanka. That's a great statement I have ever heard from a religious leader. We have to respect that value. Because of Buddhism only, Sri Lanka having 2,500 years, this socio-cultural and also other things. So, Honorable Oswald Gomes gave a great statement. So, those are very important. So, leaders must come, as well as religious leaders. That reconciliation is very important. That is not only in Colombo BMICH, which should go to the grassroots level and start working. People are peaceful. People are peaceful, but those who are putting ideas for their mind can generate different things. So for that, we must have a proper agenda. Even today we can do it. But not only from one segment. You have to take everyone, every effort, then only play.
Let's talk a bit about education reforms, because children today go into society tomorrow. But Dr. Mahanamaheva, something that we see in Sri Lanka is that there are Buddhist schools, there are Catholic schools, Muslim schools, Tamil schools. Why this segregation, and do you think we really need to go beyond this and either stop naming these as they are, or what needs to be done, or do we just focus on syllabuses and try to change the syllabus in order to ensure that more inclusivity is sort of brought in books. For example, the stereotypical example is mother is cooking, father is going to work. So you get that stereotypical definition of the woman who is the person who cooks. But these stereotypes are now changing in society. There are plenty of house husbands, there are plenty of young fathers, old fathers who help out with the cooking and the cleaning and
babysitting.
Exactly. So these stereotypes are being changed. So if we were to take the same example in the scenario of reconciliation and sustainable peace, how are we to bring in education reforms? Is it just the school syllabuses that we need to change, or does it have to extend to teacher training, or does it have to go beyond that even? What are your thoughts?
My idea is this. This should not be only for the syllabus or curricula. I'll give a fantastic example. Recently I visited Trincomalee. I visited Montessori just to see what's happening there. In Trinco, 1/3 Sinhalese, 1/3 Tamils and 1/3 Muslims. This is real national reconciliation. I just watching the children. They are fighting, they are playing, they are each talking to them, and very peacefully that Montessori is happening. Once they go out, they go with their parents. Now the ideas change. In that society, very peacefully. And it is a mixed one. Not only that schools, we must have mixed schools like Dr. C.W.W. Kannangara's concept, Madhyama Vidyal concept. And also we are separating males, females. Why we are doing that? So we have to come together everyone. Now this example where I am telling from Montessori, no syllabuses, but very much actions are there. So they love that. They love. But once they go to the home, the whole scenario changes. So what this can be taken as a model and set up. I am really against naming schools one by one.
Yeah. So let's go in for a short commercial break and we'll continue with the conversation thereafter. Welcome back. We were in the middle of a very interesting conversation on education reforms. Dr. Mahanamahiva, you were saying before the break that you were against the concept of schools being segregated in terms of male, female.
Yes,
what else?
gender-based.
Gender-based, okay.
Also, we must have certain programs on credit basis. If Jaffna students can come and study in South, then South students can visit Jaffna.
So student exchange
That's
programs.
right. Student exchange at least for language.
Right.
So this is where we are only sitting in one place. But now government making their efforts to reach this. Even like credit basis. I mean, I don't know certain facilities needed for that when you are separating kids from their families. Now earlier what I was telling, when they are in school, all these children are very happy. And also each other they communicate. So parents also having a great duty. Not only school, parents must inculcate this is the peace and how we should communicate each other and how to associate others. So this must be started from parents as well as schools, and also school curricula. Now school curricula also, now we need several reforms. Not only these studying and vomiting in the exam, whatever the ideas we study, it should go away from that. That's why we need most of the practical action. So we can introduce certain areas to the syllabus, do some projects or even research. Tamil students can do it in southern province can do in northern province, so likewise. And also the leadership is very important. Even political leaders from north and south, whatever they say, they must think twice, because this is future and peace, nationality in our blood. For that we must give the correct leadership. That is where we need to train parliamentarians. You are talking officials and others. No, my first argument, train all parliamentarians in Sri Lanka. And then they will understand the value of this and how other countries have achieved up to that level. So what we can do, not only grassroots level, parliamentarians as officials, for everything, one must be in our mind, commitment, dedication, future Sri Lanka.
Dr. Mahanamahiva, my final question to you. We're on our last 2 minutes of the show. Today is International Day of Peace, but peace is a concept that we need every day of our lives.
Definitely.
So, going forward, where does Sri Lanka have to go in order to ensure lasting peace and reconciliation?
Long and lasting peace, it should be not from books. It should come to our mind. This is like a meditation. First, everyone in Sri Lanka must have a very clear idea. Forget about the past. In future, we have to build this country, and also with the Millennium Development Goals, different things are. So rather than separating now, for example, also politically we have seen a new model in Sri Lanka. The main two parties are working together. So that is one model they are trying their best. So likewise, this also, building peace, reconciliation, we have to see new things. For that you must have a survey. My last request is that, have a survey, go to grassroots level, get people thinking, what they think about peace. What we need to teach is not peace. What their mind is the peace.
All right, thank you very much. On that note, we wrap up this edition of Newsline. Thank you very much, Dr. Pratibha Mahanamaheva, for joining us on Newsline. He is, of course, a senior lecturer at the University of Colombo, attorney at law, and former Human Rights Commissioner at the Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission. We end today's show with a quote from UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, who says, "Let us all work together to help all human beings achieve dignity and equality, and make sure no one is left behind." Have a great morning ahead.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.